Hi, I'm Josh Elliott, and today I will be reviewing this year's biggest romantic comedy, The Big Sick. So The Big Sick, if you did not know, is written by Kumail Nanjiani and Emily V. Gordon. And if you did not know this, the two are married. And this story is actually the story of how the two met, with Kumail playing himself. Emily does not play herself, she's not an actress, but she did write the story with him. I was really excited to see this movie and see how a real-life story that is legitimately personal to the writers that wrote it. Not to say that, like, other stories aren't personal to the people that write them, but just a story that actually happened to them. So The Big Sick is about an Indian comedian named Kumail, and he basically runs into a girl at a comedy club one night. They basically hook up. Over time, they start to spend more time together and they start developing a relationship. However, Kumail's parents don't know that he is dating a white girl, and they want to arrange a marriage for him with an Indian girl. And so he has this ongoing dilemma of basically trying to hide this from Emily, but also, like, keep his parents satisfied without trying to tell them that he has a white girlfriend. But then, Emily gets very sick. She has to go to the hospital and be put in a medically induced coma. Even though the whole story of how they meet happens before she gets in the medically induced coma, the real story, like, kicks off after she does, because that's when Kumail, he doesn't really have her to talk to, and he starts having this absolute crisis, and he has to basically meet her family under these awful circumstances because they're going through all of this stress of their daughter being in a coma. He's going through the stress of his girlfriend being in a coma, and while all of this is happening, he's debating what to do about his parents and whether he should tell them. This movie is so good. I knew I was going to like this movie just because it looked cute. It's been getting, like, genuine awards buzz for, like, Oscars and stuff. It's that good. The thing that surprised me so much about The Big Sick is that it's a romantic comedy. And so you know it's gonna be romantic, and you know it's gonna be funny. That is, if it's good. But I'd heard it's good, so I assumed that it was going to be both of those things. But with romantic comedies, I mostly find myself remembering the romance parts of them more than the comedy parts. And The Big Sick is really funny. And I was so surprised by that, which I shouldn't have been. It's literally written by a comedian. I admire that the people who wrote this story could take something that was probably a lot more traumatic for them and, like, stressful when it happened and turn it into a comedy. I think the reason this works so well, it perfectly balances the comedy with the drama. The best comedies are the ones that genuinely have serious moments in them, because you need to care about what's happening. You need to care about the characters. And if you don't, if all the movie does is just make fun of these characters, then you're not going to care about them. You're not going to find it funny when they do stuff, and you're not going to be happy when they succeed, and you're not going to be sad when they fail. And so the movie takes its time to really flesh out these characters, and it has dialogue that is so perfect, because the best movie that I can compare this to dialogue-wise is Manchester by the Sea, which won the Academy Award for Best Screenplay last year. And it's because it's so realistic. The characters say awkward things that regular people would say. They have conversations that regular people would have. Sometimes they say things and then they immediately correct themselves and say, like, no, yeah, I didn't mean that. I was just saying that. Sometimes characters say things and they're like, yeah, I thought that would sound better when I said that out loud. The dialogue doesn't feel like dialogue. It feels like words. It feels like people talking. It feels like thoughts. When you have dialogue as smart as this movie does, the characters feel real. They feel like actual people that we can relate to. And so when you have that, and you add on all of these dramatic moments that come in later in the movie, you really care. You care about these characters, and you want them to be happy. That's why The Big Sick succeeds so much. Not because of the comedy, but because of the serious moments. Now, the serious moments, though, make the comedy all the more better, because the comedy would be funny to begin with, it just wouldn't have as much of an impact if the serious moments weren't so good. As I said, the best comedies are complemented by their serious undertones, because when movies get serious, you start to feel more relieved when they do become comedic. You feel happy for the characters when it's comedic. you gotta give so much credit to the actors, because Kumail Nanjiani, yes, he is playing himself in a literal sense, but he does such a good job at making his character likable. I liked him from the second I saw him. He plays just this awkward but kind-hearted, nothing but good in his heart guy, and I just loved him. But he's not a perfect individual. He does have flaws. Like, he does keep secrets from people that he shouldn't keep from. He makes stupid mistakes. That's why there are so many dramatic moments in the movie, because he is flawed. He does make mistakes. Emily is good as well. She gives a good performance. I didn't really remember her that much. One of my only problems with the movie, though, is that I liked Emily before she went into a coma. I didn't after. She says some pretty mean things after she comes out of this coma. Understandably, though, she was just in a coma, and there are other circumstances that happened before she went into a coma that have changed after. And it really does bring reality back into the picture when she does wake up. Oh, and by the way, it's not a spoiler that she wakes up. The two people that wrote the movie are married. It's about the story of how they met. Obviously, she doesn't die. Yes, the movie did need the harsh reality to hit after she woke up, but I don't know if it all needed to lie on her to do that. When you have this huge hit with reality moment and it all comes down to this one character, it's hard to like that character. I never disliked Emily, but it was after she came out of the coma that I just started to not like her as much, which is not a good thing because you want the characters to end up together. Holly Hunter deserves an Oscar nomination for this. I am dead serious. She is absolutely hilarious. She is fully dedicated to the role. Emily's dad, oh, I hated that I can't remember his name. He's really good as well. A.D. Bryant from Saturday Night Live is in this movie, and Bo Burnham, the Bo Burnham, is in this movie. I found that kind of random, but I also kind of loved it because they were both literally perfect. So, The Big Sick is definitely an amazing romantic comedy. Not because it's funny, but because it's serious. It is a genuinely serious movie. You could make it a drama and it would be perfectly fine, but it's not. It's a comedy. And so because you have these serious moments and because the characters are so relatable and so likable, it feels heartfelt and genuine. It makes the comedy parts all the more funny. The actors are great. The directing doesn't stand out, but I mean, it gets the job done. And the story is really sweet. I really enjoyed The Big Sick. It's one of the best romantic comedies I've seen in a while. And so I'm gonna give it an 8. Which may sound a little low considering I pretty much did nothing but praise the movie. But the thing is, it still is a romantic comedy. The basis of the story was never going to just blow me away. The entire time since I knew that the characters were gonna end up married at the end, there is that problem of you knowing that everything is going to end up okay with them, at least in the end. I was interested in how the storyline with his parents would go down. I didn't know if he was still in contact with his parents or not. The story was never gonna blow me away, but I still really enjoyed it a lot. I would recommend this movie to pretty much anyone. I think it's really good. So I give The Big Sick an 8. Be sure to check out more of our reviews. Please like and subscribe to High School Film Nerds. Oh yeah, and please comment what you thought of the movie because I really want to talk about this movie. I liked it. See ya!